Hello and welcome to Narayana IAS. Now in September 2023, during the G20 Summit in New Delhi, the India Middle East Europe Economic Corridor was announced. This economic corridor was designed as a transcontinental trade route. Why transcontinental? Because it links India, the Middle East and Europe. IMEC, right, as it is referred to, this corridor, it aims to reduce transport time and cost by bypassing the Suez Canal. Now, let me show you Suez Canal. So, this is the Suez Canal, right? This is the Suez Canal. As of now, the trade happens through this route, right? Now, here we are going to connect the Persian Gulf from India to Persian Gulf, that is the Middle East, and then we will connect to the European continent. Are you getting my point? So, to bypass this Suez Canal, we are focusing on the India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor, right? So, this is the Suez Canal. This is the Suez Canal, right? And then from India to this place, and then we'll connect Europe. I hope you understood what is the purpose of this particular corridor. Now, let us try to understand more about this particular corridor. First starts with the structure and the routes under the economic corridor. See, the IMEC will feature two primary corridors. The first one is the East Corridor. Now, let me show you East Corridor. This is the East Corridor. This East Corridor connects India to the Arabian Gulf. Then we have the Northern Corridor. Now, this Northern Corridor, it extends from the Gulf to Europe via the country Israel. So, we have two corridors. One is the Eastern Corridor, the other one is the Northern Corridor. Now, this corridor integrates what? Railways, roadways, ship to railway networks and road transport routes. All this will help in facilitating efficient cargo movement between three continents, and these are Asia, Middle East and Europe, right? Now, let me talk about the trade and cost efficiency with respect to the corridor. The corridor, it aims to reduce transport time by 40% and cost by 30%. This will significantly lower the logistical expenses. And what is the benefit? That it benefits the trade routes, and most importantly, it improves the supply chain efficiency. Now, let me also discuss the elements of the IMEC corridor. See, there are many elements under the IMEC corridor. The first one is the electricity cable, right? Now, this electricity cable, it enhances energy connectivity. Then we have hydrogen pipeline. This supports green energy initiatives, right? Then we also have high speed data cable, which will boost digital infrastructure and data flow. Now, let me also discuss the key ports and routes under IMEC, right? So, I hope you know that under IMEC, India, Middle East and Europe gets connected. Let's talk about India. We are talking about the ports in India. Now, in India, the corridor connects Mundra, Kandla and JNPT port in Mumbai. So, in India, we have three ports, Mundra, Kandla and JNPT. See, this is India. Now, let's focus on Middle East, right? This is Middle East. In Middle East, we have three countries. One is the UAE. Now, in UAE, right, this is UAE. In UAE, we have ports like Fujairah, Jebel Ali and Abu Dhabi port, right? These are three ports in UAE. Then in Saudi Arabia, we have Dammam and Ras Al Khar, right? This is Saudi Arabia, right? Now, talking about the railway link. See, under the railway link, it links Fujairah port in UAE to Haifa. Haifa is in Israel. And this railway link passes through Saudi Arabia and Jordan. So, India, Middle East and finally the end point is in Europe. and the ports in Europe include the, so for example, let me just show you here. So this is the end port in Europe, right? Pires port, which is in Greece, then Messina port in Italy, and Marseille port in France. So India, Middle East and Europe. This is the economic corridor. Now let me also explain you how the IMEC corridor will integrate the economies of these countries and will have a massive impact on the region. Now see, the IMEC, this corridor, it seeks to streamline trade in energy, infrastructure and industrial goods. The purpose is that it fosters economic integration across participating regions. And which are the participating regions? India, Middle East and Europe. What is the strategic positioning of this particular corridor? Now this IMEC corridor is positioned as a non-Chinese alternative to the Belt and Road Initiative. I hope you all know the Chinese BRI project. This IMEC, it enhances India's influence in the global south and it promotes a multipolar, that is the presence of many countries and collaborative trade framework. In Chinese BRI, China is dominating, but here all the countries are having a say. So this IMEC corridor also supports regional resilience. How? By providing an alternative to the Suez Canal, thereby reducing dependence on the Suez Canal. Right? I hope you understood the importance and significance of IMEC corridor. But however, IMEC, this corridor is facing some fundamental challenges. And one fundamental challenge is that it is going through a geopolitical flux. We know that the ongoing conflict between Israel and Palestine has already affected momentum. It has caused delays and uncertainties, especially in areas where the corridor requires cooperation between conflicting parties, right? So we have discussed two corridors. One is the eastern corridor, the other one is the northern corridor. In northern corridor, it requires the cooperation between Israel and Arab countries. But because of lack of cooperation, there is no progress. The other challenge is regional instabilities. The political instability in the Middle East, especially between Israel and the Arab countries, could disrupt operations. Why? Because countries like Saudi Arabia, UAE and Israel face fluctuating relations and security challenges. Then the issue lies also with logistical and administrative issues. See, synchronizing trade standards and regulatory practices across various nations is very complicated. Without streamlined procedures, delays and administrative bottlenecks could hamper efficiency, that's for sure, right? The other issue is also with respect to economic dependencies. The West Asian countries, for example, Saudi Arabia and Jordan, may need infrastructure upgrades and subsidies to align with the corridor standards, and because of this lack of cooperation, the process is slowing down. They need infrastructure. Israel is the country that provides infrastructure, but because of lack of cooperation and geopolitical tension, there is no progress. I hope you understood the challenges, but there has to have a solution, right? We need to have a way forward. How do we overcome this challenge? First and the most important solution is diplomatic engagement. See, India and the IMEC countries like Saudi Arabia, UAE, Israel should engage diplomatically to stabilize the region, especially in areas affected by geopolitical tensions like Israel-Palestine. It is very important to have collaborative discussions among stakeholders, that is among countries, and this will help in addressing points of contention and ensuring that the progress is steady. The next solution lies with infrastructure development. Now, investments in modernizing infrastructure in the Middle Eastern transit hubs is very important. For that, we have to develop multimodal facilities like roads, highways, ports and Also important is that we need to have reliable cross-border logistics. Why? Because this will enhance operational efficiency for IMEC. Then it is also very important to boost regional ties. Now here India can play a proactive role. How? By enhancing ties with West Asian and European countries so as to develop a shared vision for economic growth. India can offer training and can also share technology in logistics and port management. At the same time, India should focus on leveraging IMEC to strengthen its supply chains. This will help India to establish herself as a global trade hub. At the same time, it will help India to improve infrastructure to capitalize on the corridors, that is IMEC corridors potential. I hope you understood the solution. So all in all, collaborating with IMEC partners in digitizing processes, lowering logistical costs and developing effective customs protocols will be very crucial. IMEC, while facing significant hurdles, holds immense potential for boosting connectivity and trade across Asia, Middle East and Europe. So if IMEC is effectively implemented, it could reshape the economic landscape of the region, which will enhance India's strategic clout and provide a viable alternative to China's Belt and Road Initiative. I hope you understood the IMEC corridor topic. Thank you so much for watching.